Be me, 28, married to absolute psychopath for 2 years. Thought I found my waifu, but turns out she's more like a final boss with commitment issues. Wife. Jessica has been acting weird lately, like weirder than usual. Starts coming home late from work, claiming she's been networking with colleagues. Networking my ass. She works at a damn Starbucks. One day I'm scrolling through her Instagram and notice she changed her bio. Used to say happily married to my best friend with heart emojis. Now it just says living my best single life with crying, laughing emoji. What the actual hell? Confront her about it during dinner while she's eating her quinoa salad like some basic white girl. Hey babe, noticed you changed your Instagram bio, I say, trying to sound casual. She looks up with this blank expression like she doesn't know what I'm talking about. What bio change? I haven't touched my Instagram in weeks. She lies straight to my face. Pull out my phone and show her the evidence. Oh, that's just a joke for my single friends. It doesn't mean anything, she says with a straight face. What single friends? All your friends are married or in relationships, I point out. You don't know all my friends, she snaps back like she's caught in some dramatic anime betrayal arc, already sensing this conversation is going nowhere good. Next day, I notice she removed all our couple photos from her Instagram. 2 years of memories just gone, like Thanos snapped his fingers. When I bring it up, she claims her phone glitched and deleted them automatically. Phones don't just randomly delete specific photos, Jessica. Well, mine did. Maybe you should stop stalking my social media like some creepy boyfriend. I'm your husband, not your boyfriend, you absolute walnut. She rolls her eyes so hard I'm surprised they don't fall out of her skull. Starts claiming we never actually had a wedding, just a commitment ceremony, Bim. Bitch, we have a marriage certificate hanging on the wall. When I point this out, she says it's just decorative and doesn't mean anything legally. Jessica, we literally signed legal documents. There were witnesses. Your mother cried during the vows. My mom cries at grocery store commercials. That doesn't prove anything. The audacity of this woman is reaching levels that shouldn't be physically possible. Week later, she starts introducing me to people as her roommate. We're at her cousin's birthday party and she tells everyone I'm just some guy who splits rent with her. Her own family is looking at her like she's lost her damn mind. Didn't you two get married last year? Her aunt asks, confused as hell. Married? Who said anything about marriage? We're just friends who live together. I'm standing right there wearing the wedding ring she picked out. Jessica, what the hell is wrong with you? I finally snap. Don't be so dramatic. We were never actually married. You're having some kind of delusion. Her cousin pulls me aside later. Dude, is your wife having a mental breakdown or something? Honestly, I have no idea anymore. She's acting like our entire relationship is fictional. Start documenting everything she says because this shit is getting too weird. She begins telling people she's exploring her options and keeping her choices open. Meanwhile, she's still sleeping in our bed and eating my leftovers like nothing changed. One morning she's making coffee and I decide to test how far this delusion goes. Morning, wife, I say extra cheerfully. Wife? What are you talking about? I don't have a husband. I'm single and available. Then why are you wearing a wedding ring? She looks down at her hand like she's seeing the ring for the first time. This is just fashion jewelry. It doesn't mean anything. Jessica, that ring cost me 3 months' salary. Well, that was a waste of money then. Maybe you should return it. The sheer level of gaslighting is reaching Dragon Ball Z power levels at this point. Decide to call her bluff and start playing along with her delusion. You're right. We're not married. In fact, I don't even know you that well. Exactly. Finally, you're making sense. So, as strangers, you should probably move out of my apartment. Her face goes through about 17 different emotions in 2 seconds. What do you mean your apartment? We both live here. But if we're not married and barely know each other, why would I let a random woman live in my place? Watch her brain short-circuit as she tries to process this logic. That's different. We're roommates. Roommates split bills equally. You haven't paid rent in months because you're my wife. I'm not your wife. Stop saying that. Then start paying half the rent, electric, water, internet, and groceries. Suddenly she remembers we're married real quick. Okay, fine. Maybe we did have some kind of ceremony, but it wasn't legally binding. Or to pull out our marriage certificate and wave it in her face like it's a victory flag. This says otherwise, you absolute muppet. She stares at it for a solid minute, like she's trying to decode ancient hieroglyphics. Well, that could be fake. People forge documents all the time. Jessica, your signature is right there. Your mother signed as a witness. My mom's signature could be forged too. The mental gymnastics this woman is doing deserve an Olympic gold medal. Decide to escalate and call her mother on speakerphone. Hi, Mrs. Thompson. Quick question about Jessica's wedding. Oh, it was beautiful. I still have all the photos. Why do you ask? Jessica is frantically making throat-slashing gestures, trying to get me to hang up. Jessica seems to think the wedding never happened. Long pause from her mother. Is she having another episode? She did this same thing in college with her boyfriend then. Another episode? She pretends relationships don't exist when she gets scared of commitment. Usually lasts a few weeks. Everything suddenly makes sense, like puzzle pieces falling into place. Hang up the phone and stare at Jessica, who looks like she wants to disappear into the floor. So this is just your weird commitment phobia acting up again? I don't know what you're talking about. My mom is clearly confused. Jessica, your own mother just exposed your entire psychological pattern. My mother doesn't know what she's talking about. She's old and her memory is bad. She's 52 and sharper than you are. Watch her scramble to come up with new excuses. Maybe we got married, but it doesn't count because I was drunk. You had one glass of champagne and complained it was too bubbly. Well, then the officiant wasn't licensed properly. Pastor Johnson has been marrying people for 30 years. She's running out of ridiculous explanations faster than a mobile game runs out of battery. Okay, fine. Maybe we're technically married on paper, but emotionally I'm single. That's not how marriage works, you absolute doorknob. Don't call me a doorknob. I'm a complex woman with complex feelings. Complex is putting it mildly. You're like a Rubik's Cube that someone painted black. She huffs and storms off to the bedroom, probably to plan her next level of psychological warfare. Find her an hour later, reorganizing her closet and muttering to herself, "What are you doing now?" Separating my single clothes from my married clothes. Those are the same clothes, Jessica. No, single me dresses differently than married me. You literally wore that same outfit to our anniversary dinner last month. That was married me. Single me is borrowing the outfit. The level of mental compartmentalization here is honestly impressive. Decide to try a different approach and play into her fantasy. Okay, if you're single, then you're free to date other people, right? Exactly. I'm a catch and I deserve options. Cool. So when your new boyfriend comes over, where is he going to sleep? She pauses, clearly not having thought this through. In the guest room? We don't have a guest room. We have our bedroom and that's it. Then I guess he'll sleep on the couch. The couch I bought with my money for our apartment? Watch her realize she's trapped herself in her own stupid logic. Well, maybe you should get a girlfriend too and we can all just live here together? Like some kind of weird polyamorous commune? Why not? It could be fun and modern. Jessica, you cried when I talked to the female cashier at Target for too long. That was different. She was flirting with you. She asked if I wanted my receipt. That's literally her job. The way she said it was flirty. She was 16 and had braces. The jealousy reveals that deep down, she still considers me her husband. Okay, new plan, I announce. Since you're single, I'm going to start dating your sister. Her face goes through the 5 stages of grief in record time. You can't date my sister. Why not? You're single. I'm single, apparently. She's single. Because that would be weird. Only weird if we were related by marriage, which we're not according to you. She's starting to realize how stupid her whole charade sounds. Plus, your sister is hot and she actually remembers being at our wedding. Don't you dare call my sister hot. Why, jealous? Thought you didn't care since we're not married. Steam is practically coming out of her ears like some angry anime character. Fine, maybe we're a little bit married. A little bit? You're either married or you're not, Jessica. Okay, we're married, but I want to pretend we're not sometimes. That's called role-playing, and most people discuss that beforehand. She finally breaks down and admits the whole thing started because her single friends made her feel like she was missing out. Apparently, they've been filling her head with nonsense about how marriage kills your fun. So you decided to gaslight me into thinking our entire relationship was fake? I wasn't gaslighting. I was just creatively reinterpreting our situation. That's literally what gaslighting is, you absolute walnut. Stop calling me a walnut, then stop acting like one. We end up having a long conversation about her commitment issues and friend group toxicity. Turns out her friends are just bitter that they're all single and miserable. So are you ready to admit we're married now? Yes, fine, we're married. Happy now? Ecstatic. Now change your Instagram bio back before I lose my mind completely. Okay, but can we at least do single people stuff sometimes? Like what? I don't know. Go to clubs and pretend we don't know each other? That's the dumbest thing you've ever suggested, and you once tried to iron your hair. That was one time, and YouTube made it look easy. Somehow we work through her bizarre psychological episode. She changes her social media back and stops telling people she's single, though she still occasionally introduces me as her domestic partner, just to be difficult. Domestic partner sounds like we're running a business together. We are. The business of love. That's the corniest thing you've ever said. You married me knowing I was corny. Yeah, when you admitted you were married to me. Our relationship is weird, but at least she stopped pretending I don't exist. That feel when your wife's commitment phobia nearly made you question your own sanity. My face. When I realize I'm married to someone who thinks marriage is optional. BME 21, peak incel virgin. Extraordinaire living in mom's basement, like the absolute legend I am. Browsing Tinder at 2 a.m. because that's when all the quality matches appear, apparently swipe right on this girl, Catherine, who looks like she actually showers regularly, unlike most of my matches. Her bio says lawyer in training, no time for bullshit, serious inquiries only. Think to myself, this chick probably has her shit together, unlike my train wreck existence. We match and she messages first, which already has me suspicious as hell. Before we proceed with any communication, I need you to understand that I take privacy very seriously. Weird opener, but okay, I'll bite because she's hot and I'm desperate. Sure, Catherine, privacy is important, I guess. She sends me a goddamn paragraph about confidentiality and legal obligations. My autism brain is trying to process why this sounds like she's recruiting me for the CIA. If you're interested in meeting, we'll need to discuss terms and conditions first. Terms and conditions for a date? What the hell is this, some kind of business transaction? What kind of terms are we talking about here, I ask, like the naive idiot I am. She sends me another wall of text explaining her dating protocols. Apparently, she requires all potential romantic partners to sign a non-disclosure agreement. My face when this girl wants me to sign legal documents just to take her to Olive Garden. This is to protect both parties from potential embarrassment or reputational damage. Reputational damage. Bitch, I work at GameStop, what? Reputation am I protecting? But I'm horny and lonely, so I agree to hear her out like the desperate simp I've become. We video call and she's actually even hotter in person, which makes this whole situation more confusing. Hi there, she says in this professional tone, like she's about to sell me insurance. So Catherine, about this NDA thing, is this normal for you? Absolutely, I've had terrible experiences with men who kiss and tell, or worse. Worse like what exactly? Social media posts, revenge stories, embarrassing details shared with friends. Okay, fair enough, I guess, but this still seems excessive as hell. What exactly would this NDA cover, because I'm not signing away my soul here? She pulls out an actual printed document, like she came prepared for this shit. Standard confidentiality agreement covering any personal information shared during our interactions. Starts reading off bullet points like she's presenting to a board of directors. No discussing physical appearance, personal habits, living situation, or family details. No social media posts, no photos, no location sharing, no discussing our conversations with others. This list goes on for like 5 minutes, and I'm wondering what kind of psycho I matched with. Also, no discussing any physical intimacy should it occur. Physical intimacy, she's already planning that far ahead. Damn. And what happens if I violate this agreement, hypothetically speaking? Monetary damages up to $5,000 plus legal fees. $5,000. This girl is absolutely insane, but also kind of impressive. Catherine, can I ask why you need this level of security for a first date? She gets this look like she's about to reveal some deep, dark secret. I had an ex who posted intimate details about me on Reddit after we broke up. It went viral and affected my law school applications and internship prospects. Okay, now, this is starting to make more sense, but still completely batshit crazy. So now every guy has to sign legal documents because your ex was a piece of shit. Exactly, and if you're not comfortable with these terms, we can end this now. The ultimatum is real, but my desperate ass decides to keep going. All right, Catherine, I'll sign your NDA, but this better be the best date of my life. She smiles for the first time and actually looks human instead of a corporate robot. Excellent. I'll email you the document. Please review it carefully before signing. Receive a 6-page legal document that looks like it was drafted by actual lawyers. My roommate Derek sees me reading it and asks what the hell I'm doing. This girl I'm supposed to date wants me to sign an NDA. Derek stares at me like I just told him I'm joining a cult. Dude, that's the most red flag shit I've ever heard in my life. But she's really hot and seems smart. Smart people don't make you sign contracts for dinner, you absolute dipshit. Ignore his advice because Derek has never dated anyone hotter than a 5. Sign the document and send it back feeling like I just sold my soul. She confirms receipt with a formal email, like we just completed a business merger. Thank you for your cooperation. Looking forward to our meeting tomorrow at 7. Our meeting, not our date. This girl talks like she's scheduling a dentist appointment. Spend the next day wondering what the hell I got myself into. Show up at the restaurant she picked, which is way fancier than anywhere I usually eat. She's already there, dressed like she's about to interview for a Supreme Court position. Punctual, I appreciate that, she says as I sit down. So Catherine, now that the legal stuff is handled, can we have a normal conversation? Of course, what would you like to discuss? Try to make small talk about movies, and she responds like she's answering deposition questions. I enjoy cinema that challenges conventional narrative structures. Who the hell talks like this on a date? Cool, what's your favorite movie? Citizen Kane for its innovative cinematography and thematic complexity. Of course it's Citizen Kane. Every pretentious person's default answer. Mine's probably Step Brothers or Talladega Nights. She looks at me like I just said my favorite book is a cereal box. Comedy is certainly an accessible form of entertainment. Accessible translation, she thinks I'm an uncultured swine. Decide to test how uptight she really is by making some jokes. So Catherine, besides making people sign contracts, what do you do for fun? I prefer structured activities that contribute to personal development. Like what yoga, meditation, human sacrifice. She doesn't even crack a smile at my obviously hilarious joke. I attend lectures, read professional journals, and maintain my physical fitness. This girl is like a robot programmed to be as boring as humanly possible. Do you ever just chill and watch Netflix or play video games? Recreational screen time should be purposeful and educational. My face when I realize I'm on a date with a human textbook. Try a different approach and ask about her family. My family information is not available for discussion per our agreement. She actually cited the NDA during casual conversation. Catherine, that's not what I meant by family details. I just wanted to know if you have siblings. Any personal background information falls under confidentiality clauses. This is getting ridiculous, but I'm too deep in this nightmare to quit now. Order food and she critiques my menu choices like a food critic. Processed carbohydrates and saturated fats aren't optimal for cognitive function. Bitch, I ordered chicken parmesan, not a cyanide cocktail. I'll take my chances with the cheese, thanks. She orders some pretentious salad with ingredients I can't pronounce. Conversation continues to be painful as she psychoanalyzes everything I say. Your communication style suggests underlying insecurity and need for external validation. Excuse me, what the hell does that mean? Your humor relies on self-deprecation, which indicates low self-esteem. This girl is roasting me with psychology, textbook terminology. Maybe I make jokes because life is absurd and laughter helps cope with existential dread. Interesting defense mechanism, but ultimately maladaptive. Maladaptive. I'm being clinically diagnosed during appetizers. Realize this date is going south faster than the Titanic. Decide to flip the script and start analyzing her instead. Catherine, your need to control every aspect of social interaction suggests trust issues. Her perfect composure cracks for just a second. That's an inappropriate personal assessment. Oh, so you can psychoanalyze me, but I can't return the favor. My observations are based on established behavioral patterns. And mine are based on you being uptight as hell. She actually looks offended, which is the most human emotion I've seen all night. I maintain professional boundaries to protect myself from emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation like having a normal conversation about interests and hobbies. Men often use personal information to exploit vulnerabilities later. Okay, now we're getting to the real issues behind this whole NDA situation. Catherine, not every guy is your shithead ex who posted about you online. Statistical evidence suggests otherwise. What statistical evidence? You've surveyed every man on Earth. She pulls out her phone like she's about to show me actual research data. According to recent studies, 60% of men engage in kiss and tell behavior. You made that up. There's no way that's a real statistic. It's extrapolated from social media analysis and survey data. This girl really thinks she can science her way out of human connection. Decide to call her bluff on this whole intellectual superiority act. Catherine, can I ask you something without triggering a contract violation? Depends on the nature of the question. When's the last time you had fun, like actual spontaneous enjoyment? She pauses like I just asked her to solve quantum physics. Fun is subjective and often counterproductive to long-term goals. That's not an answer, that's a deflection. I don't see the relevance of spontaneous enjoyment to our current interaction. My turn to psychoanalyze this robot disguised as a human being. You're so terrified of being vulnerable that you've eliminated any possibility of genuine connection. Her mask slips completely, and she actually looks hurt. That's presumptuous and unfair. Is it though, because this whole NDA thing screams I'm scared of letting anyone actually know me? It's protection, not fear. Protection from what having an authentic human experience. She goes quiet and starts fidgeting with her napkin, like the confident facade is crumbling. You don't understand what it's like to have private moments weaponized against you. Now we're finally getting somewhere real, instead of this corporate bullshit. You're right, I don't understand, but isolating yourself behind legal documents isn't the solution. It's worked so far. Has it though, because you seem pretty miserable for someone whose system works? She stares at me like I just pointed out that the emperor has no clothes. I'm not miserable, I'm protected. Same thing in this case. We sit in awkward silence while she processes this revelation. Maybe the NDA was excessive, she finally admits. Maybe just a little bit. She actually laughs, which is the first genuine reaction I've gotten all evening. I haven't been on many dates recently. No shit, Sherlock legal contracts tend to scare people away. You signed it though, because I'm desperate and you're hot. She laughs again and suddenly looks like a normal person instead of a lawyer bot. That's the most honest thing anyone's said to me in months. Honesty is free, Catherine, no NDA required. We actually start having a real conversation after that breakthrough moment. Turns out she's funny when she's not trying to be a professional all the time. Tells me about law school stress and how her ex really did mess up her life. He posted details about my anxiety medication and family financial problems. Damn, that's actually really messed up. I'm sorry that happened. It made me paranoid about trusting anyone with personal information. Understandable, but you can't live in a legal fortress forever. I'm starting to realize that. By the end of dinner, we're actually enjoying each other's company. So Catherine, hypothetically speaking, what happens if we want a second date? Hypothetically, I might consider relaxing some of the contractual obligations. Generous of you. She smiles and looks embarrassed about the whole NDA situation. I can't believe you actually signed that thing. I can't believe you actually made me sign it. We both laugh about how ridiculous this entire evening has been. Walk her to her car and she seems genuinely sad the night is ending. Thank you for calling me out on my bullshit, she says. Thank you for eventually acting like a human being. She gives me a hug which probably violates 17 clauses in her own contract. Maybe next time we can skip the legal paperwork, I suggest. Maybe we can. Drive home thinking this might actually work out despite the rocky start. Text her the next day and she responds like a normal person instead of a corporate email. Thanks for dinner last night. Sorry about the whole contract thing. No worries. It was definitely memorable. Good memorable or restraining order memorable. Jury's still out on that one. She sends me a laughing emoji which feels like major progress. That feel when you realize some people just need someone to break through their walls. Even if those walls are made of legal documents and trust issues.